guys, and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a plant update video for you on New Year's Day, so happy New Year's to you. And we're just going to get started because I have some amazing news that I found out about on some of my plants. So let's get started. We are going to start with the Easter cactus. So this is my Easter cactus, and as you can see, it's growing quite well. We got maybe like one leaf that fell off, but that's totally normal. It's not something to be so worried about when it's growing so many new leaves. If more than just one leaf was falling off and it was falling off consistently, then it would be a worry, but right now everything is growing quite well. I check them every day and make sure if the soil is dry, they get watered, as that can make noise in the background. So now we're going to get to my Christmas cactus, and as you can see, the flower is gone. It fell off, which is normal. They will come, they produce buds, they'll bloom, and then they'll go away. That's just the way it is. But we got a bud here, we got a few more over here, but the weather has not been so nice the past few days. It hasn't really been cold outside at all. It stayed most like in the 70s or 80s, so it hasn't really been cold here in Florida the past few days, which is weird, but that's what it is. And without the cold air, not really, the Christmas cactuses probably are not going to bloom anymore. That's just the way it is right now. So we're gonna move on to my other Christmas cactus this year. As you hear Zach in the background. But everything is looking good with the cactuses. Nothing to worry about. And in the spring, when it's nice out, probably around, I want to say May-ish. Once it hits spring, I'm definitely going to show you how to repot these to make sure that they are growing. I think the reason they did not produce buds this season is because they're in these little bitty pots and they don't like it. So I'm definitely going to show you how to repot them. So what I'm going to do in the spring is I'm going to repot all of my Christmas cactuses and my aloe plant so they have this nice big room to grow and everything like that. So let's move on to my aloe. So as you can see, my aloe is doing quite well. No signs that it's dying off, just that little bit on that one leaf, that's about it. Nothing else is telling me that it's in distress or it's dying off and it doesn't want to live anymore. But yeah, everything is looking good. So now we're gonna move on to my Dracula orchid back here. So this is my Dracula orchid that I ordered online, which I was a little skeptical about ordering an orchid online, but this guy did a wonderful job. Everything is was in great condition. So as you can see, everything is nice. I just water this guy every couple of days to make sure it has plenty of water. So everything is looking good. But this guy, it just hangs back there because there's not much sunlight comes in because this guy can't take on much sunlight. But hopefully in the coming weeks, that guy will produce some flower specks, kind of like flower specks. And with the Dracula orchid, the flower specks either come out the side of the basket or the underneath the basket. So water culture wouldn't be a good idea for this guy. That's why it's called the Dracula orchid, because their flowers will come out the side of the basket or come from the bottom of the basket. So yeah, that's why it's called the Dracula orchid. So now we're moving on to my Phalaenopsis orchids. So here's one of my Phalaenopsis orchids. I did some research on these guys right here because I was unsure if it was a flower spike or it was a possible keiki, because Phalaenopsis orchids are more prone to giving keikis. So with this guy, it's a 50-50 right now, even though it's growing lots and lots of leaves. There's no roots on it as of yet, but there's possibility for roots. So right now this guy is a 50-50 chance that it's either a keiki or a secondary flower spike. I don't know about this one so far. But what I did this morning is I changed the water. I have a water collector out back that collects rainwater, and I just use that to make sure they have plenty of water. And that's what I did this morning. I just changed the water. I usually change it about every week just to be sure they have clean, fresh water. So again, this guy right here, we don't know. There's a 50-50 chance it's either a Keiki or a flower spike. I'm not sure at this moment because Keikis will also produce roots, which this guy has not produced yet. So we'll have to wait and see the next few weeks what this guy is going to become. Either a flower spike or a Keiki. Either way, I'm really excited. So then we have this guy right here who is not growing any Keikis that I saw when I changed its water. Just checking again to make sure. No. This guy has a bunch of roots in there. It has this nice leaf growing. It has this flower spike that's still in good shape. Everything is growing quite well with that guy. So everything is looking good. And this is fertilizing week. So at the end of this video, like I show at the end of all my videos, I will show you all the fertilizers I use and how I fertilize all my plants. So now we're moving on to this guy that has a very tiny flower spike on it. Very tiny, right here, very, very tiny. So this guy has this nice new leaf coming in, which is coming in great. All the roots are doing wonderfully. We got a couple area roots here. So everything is looking good on this guy. So now we're gonna move on to my big one because this is the big flower spike right here. No signs of anything coming, but I'm very, very excited. We have this leaf growing right there. This guy has no signs of any Keikis or flower spikes coming out. So everything is looking really, really good. So yeah, everything's looking good with this guy. I'm really, really excited to see the growth. So hopefully, maybe in the next few weeks, we'll see some flowers from my Phalaenopsis orchids. But if not, I'm quite content with them just continuing to grow like they are. So here's one of my small ones. This one's just growing some roots, lots and lots of roots, and the leaves are still the same as they were last week, but I'm quite okay with that because it has a bunch of roots growing, which is really, really exciting. So to my last orchid, what I'm really, really excited about, because I know for sure what's coming on this guy. So as you can see, we got area roots right here, and we also have a Kiki right there. This is a Kiki because there's also a root coming out of it. So that is definitely a Keiki. I'm not going to remove it right now because it still has some growing to do. The research I've done on Keikis and removing them, especially from the base, is to at least let them have 5 roots that are pretty long. So right now it just has this one root growing out of it right now. And when it gets a few more roots coming in, then I will remove it and put it in a new pot. But right now it's growing wonderfully. So I have one Keiki, and the one that's going on the flower spike is a 50-50 chance. But that one already has one root that's coming out pretty strong. So I'll just have to wait and see how it does over the next few weeks and see if it can grow any more roots over the next few weeks so I can separate it and put it in its own bowl, pretty much. Because what I might do is I will go to PetSmart where I get all my bowls. It's just a regular clear fish bowl. It's basically what it is. And what I'll do is I'll put that big one in a bigger bowl that I can keep that bowl for that tiny Kiki right there. So now we are going to go outside and I'm going to show you all the amazing updates I have outside as well. And I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alright, we are out here looking at the aloe plants. There is the beautiful mother aloe. As you can see, she's growing a lot of leaves. And all of her babies are doing quite well. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have 6 babies. But everything is looking good with this guy. Everything is growing. I love it. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So here is my beautiful Rosebush who's doing quite well. Everything seems to be growing nicely. There's no signs that it's in distress or it's going to die off. Everything is nice and green the way I want it, and possible flowers possibly coming, but right now it's just focusing on growing some leaves, and I'm okay with that. I'm really excited to have some roses again very soon. Okay guys, we just came inside. You didn't see the poinsettia because sadly the poinsettia has died. I don't know what happened, but sometimes that happens and we just have to start again and try to learn from our mistakes. So now I'm going to show you all the fertilizers I use and how I use them and all of that, and Zach's playing with the bag. What can I say? I have a strange cat. So this plant food is for the Rosebush only. I love Miracle-Gro. They're not sponsoring this video, but I do love their products. So what I do is I get a measuring cup, maybe like a 2-cup measuring cup or a 8-cup measuring cup. It just depends on what I can get to at the time. And I put a little bit of this in some faucet water. I just take it out of the faucet because Rosebush is totally cool with that. And I just mix a little bit of this in there, and I just pour it into the Rosebush, and that's pretty much how I water my roses. So for everything else, I also use this Miracle-Gro product. Again, not sponsored, but I love their products. So what I do with this is basically the same thing I do with my Rosebush. I just put a little bit of this with some water and I just pour it on the plants, and that's how I get those guys fertilized right there. So this is the one I use for all of my plants, my Christmas, Easter cactuses, my aloe plant, inside it and outside, and that's what I use for the poinsettias as well. So now we're going to get to my orchids. So what I do with the orchids that are not in spike, the ones that are not producing a flower spike, which would be just two orchids that do not produce a flower spike, this is the guy that I use for that. This is what I use. Again, all the links will be in the description below in case you want to check these out. And what I do with my orchids is I get a Tupperware container, I fill it up with rainwater. I pour a little bit of that mixture into the water and I stir it up, and then I place my orchids in that water for about an hour. Then I take them out and I put them back into their bowls. That's basically what I do every couple of weeks. So for the ones that do have flower spikes on them, this is the one I use. Oh, my cat's running around. This is the one I use for that. Again, it's the same one as I do with the ones that are not going flower spikes. This is the one I use for that. It's the same procedure with that guy. So now for my little thermometer and humidifier detector. This will tell you the current temperature. It'll tell you the percentage of the humidity in your house. That way you always know that you're at the right humidity level and your temperature is good, so you don't kill your orchids, because you don't want to do that. And yeah, that will also be in the link description below in case you want to check that out. And that is going to be it. That is going to be it for this week's plant update. I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's Day. Please like this video if you liked it, share it to grow our community, and subscribe if you're new here. I do these videos every single Tuesday. And hit that bell so you're always notified when I put out new videos, and I'll see you guys next time.